What is my reaction as of right now when it comes to XCN with the market cap being around 200 million? Even though nothing I say is financial advice, I would say the answer is actually pretty simple. It's me not giving up, still believing in this, and just staying patient. I am not telling anyone to do anything, by the way, but this is just personally what I'm doing. I'm just talking about personally my perspective when it comes to this. However, why haven't I given up? It's because I kind of like the position that XCN is in, which may seem kind of counterintuitive. I'm totally aware of that because of the pullback. But then at the same time, what I find interesting is that I still like the payment space. I still like the global trade and finance space. Sure, projects out there within this space, generally speaking, pretty big pullback along with a bunch of other altcoins, but still, I still like this space overall because if I take a look at, for instance, in the case of Stellar, sure, when it comes to XLM, the market cap is nearly 9 billion. It was around 10 billion not too long ago, but of course there's a pullback. But if I take a look at something like that, the market cap is pretty massive compared to something like this, which again, the market cap is around 200 million. So if we take a look at the market cap of XLM compared to this, it's over a 30x difference right now. So the way I take a look at it is that when it comes to just again that kind of space of payments in global trade and finance, what I find pretty interesting is that, at least personally for me, there seems to be an option that is a project with a market cap that is in the hundreds of millions and not in the billions in terms of market cap, right? Because even though I still believe in Stellar, but at the same time, sometimes, the project's just too big. Like, of course, I am holding both, but at the same time, I still would rather just kind of believe more into something that has a lower market cap. Doesn't mean it's going to do better because I don't think it will, by the way. Because even if, let's say, XCN went to 25 cents, which is around a 36x from here, and went to a market cap of around 9 billion, which it would have actually considering current circulating supply at that point, it still would just be what? Around the same size of XLM right now, and that's not even during an altcoin season, despite it having a pullback. You know what I mean? So it would just reach actually one of the market leaders' size during a time when the altcoin space isn't doing the best if it were to even go to the price of 25 cents. So by no means 25 cents is going to be, anything kind of groundbreaking within the space of payments and global trade and finance, but I think it is still something I like nonetheless, just because the market cap is lower. It doesn't mean it will grow, right? I mean, a lower market cap doesn't mean that it's going to do good, but at the same time, when I just take a look at kind of the presence of the space overall that Onyx has, because I still think even despite this pullback, in terms of popularity, I'm not saying in terms of what's going to do the best, no, I'm just saying in terms of recognizability, I would say that, if we remove something like Stellar, I mean, XCN is still kind of up there in terms of popularity. I mean, okay, XDC is more popular than this. However, XCN is still kind of on par with that, ZBCN, or should I say Zebic, alongside with kind of to a little bit of an extent like Swiftcoin, something like that, right? It's still kind of in that range. So then I just haven't given up. That's the way I take a look at it, even though I think XCN is actually more popular than Swiftcoin right now. But besides that, when I take a look at it as well, I feel like in terms of the fundamentals, Onyx still has something to prove, in a sense where if I take a look at Goliath, right? Goliath is still in the testnet. I mean, we haven't seen the Goliath mainnet, right? Now, supposedly they're planning to launch it next year in Q1, so whenever exactly that's going to be, only time will tell. At least I don't have the, you know, understanding of when that's going to exactly happen because I'm not a part of their team. But besides that, when I take a look at something like that, I still like it nonetheless, because if, let's say, the Goliath testnet launched before, like let's say back in January, it would be a totally different case. Like it would be more talked about, it would be kind of more, I would say, looked into. But then as of right now, it's not really such a big deal. But if, let's say, there is an altcoin season, sometimes people take a look back at stuff like this. Maybe it might not be cared about right now, but moving forward, it could be a different case. So I just don't want to give up. And also on top of that, I saw a very impressive statistic when it comes to XCN. There's allegedly over 130,000 holders as of right now, which some people may be thinking, yeah, okay, who cares about that? Take a look at the market cap being around 200 million. Again, totally aware of that, but that's a lot in terms of holders. Like, that's not such an easy task to kind of achieve in some cases. So if I consider how not too long ago the market cap of XCN was around that, $70 million range, again, less than a year ago, basically, and now seeing it at above 200 million, it's not that bad actually, considering the pullback. Now, why have I been holding the entire time? Well, it's because I just don't think I've seen an altcoin seize it. That's the way to take a look at it. I'm not telling you to do anything, by the way. But personally, for me, what I do is I dollar cost average into the projects that I like once a month. That's pretty much about it. So if I hold a project for a year, 12 times. 2 years, 24, 3 years, 36, 4 years, 48. Just kind of that, sort of thing that I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do anything, but this is just personally what I'm doing. So whatever's going on with the price, I just dollar cost average. Like, for instance, dollar cost averaging back in December of 2024. And then in January, then of course there's a pullback. And then in February, March, I just been doing it this entire time. So yes, the moments when I acquired, in April, in May, also if I take a look back in July, it is still down. But considering how XCN has actually done pretty good ever since December, actually I'm still, not at a negative when it comes to XCN. So yeah, I'm still holding. I haven't given up. This is just personally what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, I still do like what I'm seeing when it comes to Onyx overall, because if we take a look at it, Goliath, it is this layer 1 blockchain for the world of finance, and what I like about it is that it has an aspect of EVM, or should I say Ethereum Virtual Machine. So it's still pretty interesting to me, at least, and when I take a look at it, Onyx, built on Arbitrum, secured by Base, that's pretty interesting, because if we take a look at Base, it is Coinbase's layer 2, and then I take a look at something like Arbitrum, it's a very popular Ethereum layer 2. So overall, I still like the whole vibe when it comes to Onyx. I just don't feel like it is a bad project to me, fundamentally speaking. Now, in terms of the price, yes, there's a pullback, but which altcoin, generally speaking, isn't experiencing a pullback, right? I'm sure there are some cases out there, but in the grand scheme of things, if a project was kind of around for 2 years, 3 years, and they experienced a pretty good rally, let's say back in December or January, or should I say December of 2024 and January of this year, a lot of them generally ever since then have been having a pretty big pullback. So when it comes to XCN, it's no stranger to that. It's just the market overall. Sometimes when it comes to altcoins, it doesn't matter if the fundamentals are the best. If the fundamentals are doing really good and the price is not doing the best in terms of just the space overall, it's still going to go down in some cases, which is why I have not given up, because I feel like what I'm seeing right now isn't directly tied to the fundamentals of Onyx becoming bad. It's just more so tied to the market sentiment overall. So if, let's say, I also know that sentiment sometimes can change, right? For instance, I'm pretty sure the sentiment when it comes to XCN back in 2024 was not good at all, but then in the beginning of 2025 it changed, right? And actually, I would say that the sentiment currently is way better than before. So things could change in some cases. Not to say that they will, but sentiments can change. The market can also change. In what direction, only time will tell, but sometimes the way I take a look at it, things can be different moving forward. So I haven't given up, and I don't think I've seen an altcoin season during this cycle. So I'm still staying patient, but those are just my current thoughts as of right now. I just haven't given up. I'm still holding, still waiting, and still preparing by just dollar cost averaging, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. But that's pretty much about it, what I'm doing as of right now, and just staying patient ultimately. And I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a nice day. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Billy the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.